Well, if it looks like diesel, and if it smells like diesel, and if it tastes like diesel, back, definitely diesel. Hello guys, how are you? Today on this video, I'll talk you about diesel leaks, or any leak for that matter. Some vacuum leaks probably will work on this tip as well. Now, on this car, we have this pipe on this multi-jet engine 16 valve that is very common to leak over the years. This pipe here has about 15 to 16 years. It's not from this car. This one was replaced with the car has 11 years old. Now the car is 16 years old and it is again in need of replacement. But this pipe is no longer available. That's sad. So the replacement is a normal pipe, okay? But it is not just any normal pipe because, as you may know, these pipes will kink with the bend. So we have to have some precautions when installing a normal pipe. Also, not only that, the fitment of the pipe itself must be crucial. Let's talk about that and let me show you how I like to do this job. Okay, looking for the engine, I can see that the source of the leak is that pipe over there. This is the high fuel pressure pump, and this is a reservoir for collecting all the low pressure return diesel. And that pipe, that is this one over here, usually becomes so brittle and so hard then it leaks, okay? As you may understand on my other video that I did, these lines have a lot of pressure, internal pressure. The high side has about 4 bar, the low side a little bit less than that, but nonetheless we have, because of that also, we have more leaks than to be expected. So this pipe in here as well, it usually cracks and develops leaks. That is for another video because I have a modification because this is one size and this is another size, and I have a modification for that. For this box that usually cracks over there and it is no longer available, I also have a modification for that for another video, but the causes for this cracking, I already did a quick tip for that. I'll leave you up here and down on the description. But before we get going, you may have a question for me. If I have a leak in here, will I have air inside of this box and inside of the pipes? Yes, you will. But that will not compromise the starting of your engine. The starting of these types of engine with a low pressure fuel pump on the gas tank, on the diesel tank. Because as soon as you turn on your ignition, new fuel comes from the fuel tank, pressurized fuel, and pushes out all of the air that you may have on your car. It may, okay, if the leak is too big, you may feel some difficulties to start, but it's very, very, very rare. In fact, I don't think I ever seen one, but you definitely can hear the air escaping through to the diesel tank. So make sure to have something on the ground to soak any diesel that may drip on the floor. Make sure to have a tray to catch the diesel because we are disassembling here some things on this box and some hoses, and diesel will come down on the engine. At the end, you want to use some brake fluid, for example, to clean all this mess, all this grease of the diesel, because it will not dry like gasoline ones do, okay? So make sure to have a good environment to work and not to leave all these stains on the ground. Yeah, very bad. Beware, most of them are not mine, are from the previous owner. That one over there was from a Mercedes. Oh, very bad. So to disassemble, I think is very straightforward. I have a modification here because my pipe has cracked at some point in the past, and I put this one to be a quick fix. Turns out he's here for about 8 years. I don't know. So two 10mm head bolts holding the box. I like to crack them loose. Normally at this side you have an equal to this one. Just push on these two tabs like this outwards. If it is not possible, release them from this clamp holder thing, or release them on the pump itself too, like the two of them to the side. Just push on the two tabs, pull up, and here you go. And on this one too. Okay. Now you have a lot of diesel. Beware if someone enters the car, to not turn on the ignition at this point, because it will be an awesome mess. Again, 2 tabs. Okay, now is it. Remember my video that I did about the modification for this pair of tubes, of pipes? This is the modified one, okay? To have some humming noise coming through here. You can actually do this without removing the box, but I will remove it because I want to show you something. From factory it does not have this. The trick here is to, instead of pull it, if you push it out, it will be I thought it will be easier, but I'm damaging the tube. So something like this sometimes helps. Sometimes a combination of both. I don't want to twist it to break it loose because I'm afraid to break the box. I prefer to damage the pipe instead. Jesus Christ, it's really on there. Okay, so to the side, this is already loose, okay. This one, again, used to be one of those, and it really should be very, very tight in here, as you can see, for one very specific reason. While I take this pipe off, I will do a measurement over here, and I have 10 millimeters on the pipe. What internal size do you think I should use for this pipe? While we are guessing that, I will remove this, and at the end I will give you the answer. So it will be very difficult to remove because, as you can imagine by this swollen part, the size of this pipe is not 10 millimeter. So what size should you use? If I cut and measure, or if I can see it on the pipe somewhere, no. This is 9.5 millimeters on the inside. And why is that? The clamp over here, it's not doing the isolation of the fluid. If it was, for example, a vacuum system, it is the same thing. You cannot have the same size of the walls, internal walls of this hose. Imagine I put a 10 millimeter hose over here on this 10 millimeter wall over here. At the beginning, it will be everything okay because it is soft and pliable. But 1 month later, 2 months, 6 months later, you will start to have leaks over here. Because even worse, your clamp will do so much force on the hose that it starts to strangle the fibers of the rubber. And you will start to have problems in leaks and so many things. So this hose is here for about 8 years, and as you can see, no leaks whatsoever. I'm just removing it to take out the box. And I will follow this same method on this hose over here. That is why I want to measure again and tell you what size, internal size of the hose I will insert on that bend over here. So let's take out these 2 bolts on the back here. Normally this blanket is not present. This is an option, was an option for the Crosswagon 156. I bought this new original at the time. It is composed by 2 parts, one of them 25 bucks, another 30, I believe. It is really not expensive. It was not expensive at the time. Okay, they are kind of long. They are this type of screws, both equal. And now you can take out the box very, very carefully. Now the reason why I want to remove this box is because it is really fragile and brittle over time, and I don't want to break it. So again, you want to do a leverage motion. Put your pinky over here so the diesel does not puke out all over the place. Again, very carefully, steady. If you need to prefer to cut down the hose, screw the hose, you need your box. Okay, notice the pinky over there and save your black box. So let's fiddle with this clamp. Now I will not use this type of clamps, I have the original ones. And for that too, I have a quick tip or two during here the assembly. These clamps are good in the pinch, but they have a stress, they have a problem. They have a neutral point where they don't do any tightening. On these ones, the gas types, as we call it in Portugal, are very good because they can apply pressure 360 degrees. This one, I'd say 359 degrees. They have a point where they don't do anything. And with time, you will start to have leaks exactly on that point. Besides that, they are ugly as sin. So the original ones are coming to the rescue. I know you don't like it because you cannot take him out or put it on, but for that too, I have more tips. Here we have it. And so right away, we can see that we cannot copy the same size or format of the previous pipe. This is the original one. This is my 8-year-old one. The size is not the same. If I try to do this curve, it will kink. So by experience, I have just a few millimeters to do this bend without kinking it. Okay, it's not really perfect, but at least it works, not being kinked. What I have to do now is measure this diameter, outer diameter over here, and the diameter of the black box. They are the same, fortunately. And if you can measure it right, without cameras and lighting and whatever, you will find that they measure 8 millimeters on the outside. So, that being said, what size of piping should I use? On the inside, okay, nice and round, you will have less than 8. You will have 7.5 millimeters. I mean, that is just perfect. It fits like a glove. Oh, really nice. It develops a nice swallow over there and tells you this pipe, even without the clamps, it will seal the deal. It will seal the liquid or vacuum or pressure or whatever. So again, the clamps are just here for the hose not to go anywhere. In fact, in this case, the band is so tight that it cannot go anywhere, but I will apply it nonetheless. So here we have the new hose. As you can imagine, having a 7.5 millimeter interior, the wall of this pipe is thinner than the original for this clamp. So as you go along and try to clamp the clamp, if you don't have a tool like me, like I don't have it, you can do it like this. Okay, and you notice, not good. So a simple trick to solve this problem, it will be by feel, but it works very well. Even if you have a kind of old pipe that clamp does not do the work anymore, you can take out the clamp, apply this electrician tape onto the pipe itself, and you can experiment with the number of turns. Normally 2 turns, so 1 turn over there, 1.5, 2 turns. It may not seem like much, but you have to be aware. When the pipe is in place, it will swallow a little bit more, and it may be enough to have a perfect clamping force. If it is not enough, remove it again, put another turn of electrician tape, and experiment again. Of course, this will vary with the supplier of your pipe. You may not need one at all. To take out these clamps, you can do it with a screwdriver, like I told you on the 75 video, like this. Perfect. And now we are putting this in place. To determine how long this pipe is, this is the very most crucial part of this video. That is why I took out the black box over there, so we can determine for sure how long this pipe should be. I can tell you right now, with this configuration of 7.5 and outside with 12.5 millimeters, I need 9 centimeters of length. This is I have a bit more at the moment, but I want to show you how to get to that. So down the hole. With the tape, it will be a little bit more harder, but not too much harder to insert. Now insert your clamp in the position that you can fit a tool to clamp it. I think it will be really, really good this way. Again, remember the quantity of tape that you put down there, because up here on the black box, the plastic one, it will be exactly the same number of turns. So you can do this just once, not to deal with the black box too many times. Now we can apply force to the clamp and close it. My cutting pliers are not up to the desk, they don't fit in there. So I'll try with these ones. Normally they work. Try to find a good spot. And okay, perfect. Now try to twist. It is not twisting. It's because the clamp is doing its job. Try to rotate the clamp itself with something, a screwdriver, whatever. Okay, not twisting. I'd say perfect. I did 2 full turns of the electrician tape, so up here we'll do two full turns. Now with some silicone grease, apply it on this fitment over here. Remember, it too is 8 mm on the outside. And what you want to do, not to put any tape yet, not to put the clamp yet, just insert it and do the movement of the installation. In this way you can see, okay, I need to remove some of the pipe. So now I have my grease to help me to remove it, because again, you don't want to fiddle with this too much, and you cut a bit. Try to cut it with some special scissors. I don't have it, so I try to take out 5 mm. This may be trial and error for you, so purchase a large amount of rubber hose, quality rubber hose. Again, more silicone grease. Don't worry about the contamination of the diesel. Okay, now push it down again. Try to see the kink. And it is almost perfect. Almost perfect. Try to feel the inside of the hose. It is starting to kink, so I need to remove 2 or 3 millimeters more of the hose. Okay, repeat this process as many times as you want. If it starts to be short, you will notice it. So if it is too short, time to pull out a bit more hose, new hose. Okay, now just before starting your car, you need to turn on the ignition 10, 15, 20 seconds so the system primes itself to take out all that air bubbles out of the system. Another thing that you can ask me, that electrician tape, will it not dissolve on the diesel contamination? Yes, it will. That's why I told you to clean up very well with the greaser all of that area before starting to work. And actually, while you are doing the work, try to degrease everything very carefully. And after starting your engine, make sure that the leaks are gone. In that way, the electrician tape will survive for years and years to come. Another thing that I like to do once a year, approximately, I like to soak my engine in WD-40. In fact, I do this on all of my cars. And no, it will not perish the rubbers or the wiring or any of that, okay? If it is good for WD-40. This video is universal for all cars, all makes, all models, motorcycles, trucks, machines, everything that uses hoses this tutorial will work 100% effective. Down on the description, there is a lot of things, there are a lot of videos that can be useful for you, a lot of areas of the automotive world that can be useful for you, and also, if you want to, helps for the channel. Don't forget to like this video if you liked the video. Don't forget to share with your friends if you feel like it, and consider subscribe to my channel. I see you next time, guys. Bye.